Welcome back to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. You search Locked On Sports Atlanta. Give me a follow on Twitter at Mark Zinno. Of course, follow our entire network at Locked On ATL. Don't forget to check out all of the great shows that we have here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Our Braves postcast after every Braves home game. Of course, Braves postcast gets a little bit of a break here during the All-Star break, but it'll be back once the second half resumes. You get ATL Day Ones with Jarvis Davis and Tanisha Batiste hitting hard with John Chuckery. And don't forget about Locked On Falcons and Locked On Hawks, all right here on the Locked On Sports Atlanta network. And appreciate your guys' love and support. We're over 2,000 subscribers on YouTube already. We keep growing really fast. It's just been a lot of fun doing this since we started back in the beginning of May. And it was just an incredible venture, an incredible opportunity. And I'm so glad that you guys have chosen to make Locked On Sports Atlanta part of your everyday sports listening. So again, thank you. Humble thank you. Okay. We're going to get the All-Star break and the home run derby tonight. By the way, this segment brought to you by our friends at Built Bar. We'll get to that in just a moment. But with the home run derby tonight, you get Ronald Acuna in there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, here's like kind of my complete breakdown on the home run derby, okay? I am betting that, let me rephrase that, I'm not betting. I feel like Pete Alonso is going to win his third consecutive. Pete Alonso wants to win this thing more than you could imagine, which is really weird. And here's something even weirder. In the last 2 years, Pete Alonso winning the home run derby, he's made more money off the home run derby than he has in his entire career being paid by the New York Mets. That is kind of crazy to think, right? I think he had $1 million for winning the home run derby. He's a guy on a rookie deal. He's still in his arbitration years. I mean, I don't think he's reached his arbitration years yet. So he's getting like $450,000 a year from the Mets, and that's it. And he's made more money in 2 home run derbies, which is crazy. So I think he really wants to win this thing, and I think that he is probably going to be able to do it again. However, if he doesn't do it again, it's because he loses in the first round to some guy named Ronald Acuna Jr. That's my guess. The only way to beat Pete Alonso is to not let him get out of the first round, because what it takes more than anything to win the home run derby is stamina. You see how tired these guys get? They're toweling off. They got to chug Gatorades. I mean, it is exhausting. And the stamina thing is a big portion of it. And Pete Alonso has it better than everybody else out there. That said, if there was one guy I think that could beat him in this derby, other than maybe Juan Soto, it's Ronald Acuna Jr., because Acuna's got a very effortless swing. Acuna's got a ton of swag, which I think is important because it's all eyes on you, right? Like, it's okay for Acuna to just pimp and style and everything else after every long ball he hits, because guess what? You can. Now, this thing's timed, so you can't really pimp and style too much. But if there was a guy who could get into a flow and a rhythm, I think Acuna's the one guy who would do it. And if Alonso has any bit of struggles early on, Acuna's the guy who could take care of him and go out and knock him off as 2-time defending champion. And for the Braves fans here, I know we're all hoping that the home run derby sort of sets Acuna straight, right? He's been struggling, obviously. Remember, these are completely non-connected events. But the thing about this that is different for Acuna is there's no pressure. He doesn't have to get on base. He doesn't have to worry about the guys behind him. Doesn't have to help his team win games. He's getting fed straight batting practice fastballs that he can just launch. And that's what he does really well. So I think all those things play into Acuna having a good chance to beat Pete Alonso in the first round and knock him out. If Alonso gets out of the first round, I don't think there's anybody that's going to stop him from winning his third consecutive home run derby, a.k.a. the 3-Pete, which, works out really well since his first name is Pete. You know what else works out really well? Built Bars. They're from the people who invented healthy and tasty and wonderful, just Built Bar, energy, flow, all of it. I mean, guys, I have these in my house. They are great. I love them. You've probably tried the amazing coconut brownie chunk Built Bar, but guess what? Your friends at Built have given you a coconut brownie chunk puffs treatment. Remember the puffs I used to tell you about? It's like this proteiny marshmallow. It is fantastic. Coconut brownie chunk Built Bar is the flavor you love in a delicious, chewy marshmallow covered in 100% real chocolate. It's like a fluffy cloud of coconut brownie goodness. Now listen, they're good for you. They're low calorie, low sugar, high in protein, all delicious, and they're here for a limited time. Go to built.com right now to make sure you don't miss out. They're going fast because they taste amazing. All Built Bars are made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently and provides tons of health benefits. Eat something that tastes good and is good for you. And the best part about Puffs is, of course, they taste amazing. You can enjoy them guilt-free because they're actually good for you. Go to built.com, use the promo code LOCK15 and get 15% off your order. Again, use the promo code LOCK15 for 15% off your order. All right, back to the All-Star break and home run derby. What else is out there that I like? If it's not Pete Alonso who's going to win it, my money would go to Corey Seager. Why? For a couple of reasons. 22 home runs before the break, and he's going back home. You guys may forget that Corey Seager used to play in LA for the Dodgers for a long time. Familiar ballpark, familiar surroundings, hometown crowd. I think that there is a lot of reasons to like Corey Seager to go out and win this thing, especially at the value that he's getting. He's almost 10-1 to win this. And so from that standpoint, to put down $1 and win 10 back, it's not a bad roll of the dice for a guy who is going to be at home in front of the hometown crowd and be a little bit juiced up at his former home. There's one other matchup that I really like in the first round. Now, if you're not paying attention to the odds, Pete Alonso is the favorite. The second favorite is Kyle Schwarber. Okay. Kyle Schwarber is also the heaviest favorite to get out of the first round against his first round opponent. Why? Because he's up against the biggest long shot to win the whole thing in Albert Pujols. Just to give you an idea, Pete Alonso versus Ronald Acuna Jr. Pete Alonso is nearly a 1-2 favorite. He's that heavy of a favorite to beat Ronald Acuna Jr. in the first round. Well, it's even heavier for that for the big guy, Kyle Schwarber. He's minus 350, which again, you're going to pay $3.50 to get $1 back. So he's that much of a favorite over Albert Pujols, who is nearly a 3-1 underdog. For $1, you get 3 if you wager on Pujols. I like Pujols in the first round. Here's why. Again, going back to Southern California, played in LA for the Angels, so there will be some sort of hometown flavor for him. I know he's old, but the one thing he does really, really well is still hit the ball out of the ballpark and hit the ball a really long way. That said, I talked about the stamina effect of this. Pujols has only got one good round in him. And if it's coming in the first round because the old man going to get tired after that. Between the adrenaline, the hometown, a stadium he's quasi-familiar with from being in the NL for all those years, and being crosstown in LA with the hometown crowd, gives me enough reason to think that he could upset Kyle Schwarber in the first round of this thing. So I like the fact that I'm getting 3-1 back. I think it makes great, sense from a value standpoint, a value proposition, but that's kind of the way I handicap the home run derby. I also think Juan Soto could probably win it. What better to do than turn down $440 million and win $1 million in the home run derby? I mean, knock yourself out. That's one way to go about doing it. Sure, certainly that works. All right, coming up next, it was a Sunday for the ages, a historical Sunday at the Open. We'll break that down coming up next right here on A to Z on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta. Final segment coming up next. Stay with me.